In the dim glow of a single bedside lamp, Aisha crumpled to the floor of their opulent penthouse bedroom, the divorce papers clutched in her trembling hands like a death sentence. The ink was still fresh, Marcus's signature a cold, indifferent slash across her life. Irreconcilable differences, it read, but she knew the truth. Her skin, her heritage, her unyielding spirit had never fit into his world of boardrooms and bleached smiles. 7 months pregnant, her belly swollen with the miracle of triplets she hadn't yet told him about. She sobbed until her voice cracked, the weight of abandonment crashing over her like a tidal wave. "How could you?" she whispered to the empty room, her heart shattering into fragments she feared she'd never piece back together. In that moment, as the city lights blurred through her tears, Aisha felt the raw agony of being discarded, invisible, unworthy. But deep down, a flicker of defiance stirred, the first spark in a long, arduous journey toward reclaiming her soul. Aisha's world had imploded that rainy autumn night 7 years ago, leaving her adrift in a sea of denial that clung to her like fog. She moved through the days in a haze, packing her belongings into worn suitcases while whispering to her unborn children, "It's just a misunderstanding. He'll come back." The penthouse, once a symbol of their whirlwind romance, Marcus sweeping her off her feet as a brilliant software engineer from a modest Brooklyn family, now felt like a gilded cage. She refused to believe the man who had vowed eternal love could abandon her so callously, especially after learning of her pregnancy through a leaked medical report. "He needs time," she told herself, ignoring the tabloid headlines screaming about his new arm candy, a socialite whose fair skin and connections aligned perfectly with his empire's image. The pain hit hardest in the quiet hours. Relocating to a cramped apartment in Harlem, funded by her severance from his company, Aisha's body betrayed her with morning sickness that mirrored her emotional turmoil. "Why me?" she cried into her pillow, the triplets kicking as if sensing her despair. Labor came prematurely, a blur of hospital lights and frantic doctors. Holding her newborns, 2 boys, Jamal and Kofi, and a girl, Nia, she felt a surge of love mingled with terror. "How will I raise you alone?" she murmured, her dark skin glistening with sweat, her braids matted against the pillow. The nurses, kind strangers with knowing eyes, offered solace. One, an older woman named Ms. Evelyn, squeezed her hand. "Child, pain like this carves rivers in your soul, but those rivers lead to the ocean of strength. You're not alone." Yet denial persisted, a shield against the gaping wound. Aisha threw herself into survival mode, taking freelance coding gigs while navigating motherhood's chaos. The triplets' cries echoed her inner screams. Nights spent rocking them, her mind replaying Marcus's last words. "You're holding me back." Pain manifested in small, crushing ways. Skipping meals to afford formula, staring at her reflection and wondering if her blackness was the curse he implied. "If I were different," she'd think, trailing off into self-doubt. A chance encounter at a community center changed the tide. There, she met Lena, a mentor-like figure running a support group for single mothers of color. Lena, with her warm laugh and scars from her own betrayals, pulled Aisha aside after a session. "Denial's a thief, stealing your present. Feel the pain, girl. Let it burn so you can rise from the ashes." Reflection crept in slowly, like dawn after a storm. Aisha began journaling, pouring out her thoughts in the wee hours. "He left because he couldn't handle my truth," she wrote, the words a revelation. Interactions with her children sparked warmth. Jamal's curious questions about where Daddy is forced her to confront the void. "Daddy chose a different path," she'd say softly, hugging him tight, feeling a pang of growth in her honesty. Pain evolved into quiet reflection during park outings, where strangers' smiles at her beautiful family chipped away at isolation. One afternoon, an elderly man on a bench shared his story of loss, widowed young, raising kids alone. "Healing ain't linear, miss. It's like weaving a tapestry. Threads of hurt make the beauty stand out." His words lingered, prompting Aisha to seek therapy, where she unpacked the trauma of abandonment, racism's subtle knives in their marriage. Small victories emerged, landing a stable remote job, watching the triplets thrive in preschool. Denial faded as pain sharpened her resolve. "I am enough," she whispered during a reflective walk, the Harlem streets alive with resilience. By the chapter's end, Aisha stood taller, the stages blending into a tentative foundation. Reflection brought clarity. Marcus's betrayal was his failing, not hers. Personal growth whispered promises of renewal, though the journey was far from over. 7 years had woven a tapestry of transformation for Aisha, but the echoes of pain still lingered like faint scars. Reflection deepened in the quiet rhythms of daily life, as she built a home filled with laughter and love. The triplets, now energetic 7-year-olds, were her anchors, Jamal's inventive mind, Kofi's empathetic heart, Nia's fierce spirit mirroring her own. "Mommy, why do you look sad sometimes?" Nia asked one evening, climbing into her lap. Aisha paused, her internal dialogue swirling. "Hide it, or teach her strength, because even strong people hurt, baby. But we heal." This honesty marked her growth, turning reflection into action. Pain resurfaced unexpectedly, like when a news alert flashed Marcus's face, remarried, his empire soaring. He moved on so easily, she thought, a stab of old betrayal. But now, armed with reflection, she channeled it differently. Enrolling in a leadership course for women entrepreneurs, Aisha met Derek, a kind-hearted educator whose warm brown eyes saw her fully. Their interactions began as professional, discussing her app idea for connecting single parents of color, but sparked warmth. "You're inspiring," he said over coffee, his voice a balm. "Not despite your story, but because of it." Aisha's heart fluttered, a realization dawning. True love wasn't the fairy tale Marcus promised, but something grounded, mutual. The stages intertwined in profound moments. Denial was long gone, pain a teacher now. Reflection came during solo hikes in upstate New York, where nature's vastness mirrored her inner expanse. "I've carried this weight alone," she pondered, "but what if I share it?" Mentors like Lena evolved into friends. At a group retreat, Lena shared, "Pain polishes the diamond within. You've shown through." Strangers turned allies, a bookstore owner recommending books on self-love, igniting epiphanies. Betrayal breaks you open. One passage read, "To let the light in." Aisha wept, releasing lingering hurt. Personal growth bloomed through her children, teaching them about their heritage, African rhythms, stories of resilient ancestors, fostered pride. "We're a team," she'd say during family game nights, their giggles healing cracks in her soul. Derek's presence added layers. Their first date, a picnic under stars, brought realization. "I thought love abandoned me," she confessed, vulnerability raw. But maybe it was waiting. He held her hand, whispering, "True love sees your scars and calls them beautiful." This sparked internal peace, a slow unfolding of trust. Challenges tested her, a work setback, triplets school struggles. Yet small victories abounded, launching her app, Roots Connected, which gained traction. "I'm not defined by his leaving," she affirmed in the mirror, her black skin glowing with self-acceptance. Reflection on the 7 years revealed a journey of alchemy, pain into wisdom, denial into truth. Interactions deepened. A chance meeting with an old colleague revealed Marcus's regrets, but Aisha felt no pull. "I've outgrown that chapter," she realized. Returning to the city for a conference, Aisha crossed paths with Marcus. Triplets in tow, Derek by her side, she faced him with grace. "You've built something real," he stammered, eyes on the children he never knew. "I have," she replied calmly, heart steady. The encounter sealed her growth, forgiveness without reconciliation, peace in her renewal. In the end, Aisha stood on her balcony, watching the skyline, a sense of wholeness enveloping her. The journey had been arduous, filled with tears and triumphs, but it led to this, a woman reborn, embracing her worth. Her story whispered to the wind, a testament to resilience. The story culminates in a powerful message. Through the depths of betrayal and loss, true healing emerges not from external validation, but from within, embracing one's scars as badges of strength, finding love in authenticity, and rising renewed with the quiet power of self-acceptance and emotional peace. Moral of the story: the timeless truth is that inner strength is forged in the fires of heartbreak. True healing comes from facing pain with courage, reflecting on lessons learned, and growing into a version of yourself that no abandonment can diminish. Proving that self-love is the ultimate renewal, capable of birthing new beginnings and unbreakable bonds.